The expedition to the infamous and almost forgotten underground sea, where Riversnap, the king of the lobsters, waits for a wish for anyone who can best him in a song, guarded by treacherous tunnels and dark places, where no one goes and no light ever sees. Some say millipedes the size of whales patrol the labyrinth of unquestionable tunnels that lead to this possible folly. But there was hope now of truth, where a recently passed lord's will to his grandson Felix Greenstalk Woolenmouth, an aspiring yodeler and accomplished tap dancer, he had once seen the great deserted sea and the creatures that occupy its world, and claims to have made a map and left it to the young showman, that he must travel from London to the west of Ireland to the Blackhead coastline, where the cave entrance hides. So with his best-laying hen and fellow explorer Sir Sebastian Sleeplockenhound, a renowned warbler and childhood friend of Felix, they took their leave and sailed across the Irish Sea and up the Cork coast and moored in the Great Bay close to Inish of Inishman of Inish, where mountains meet the sea. They had timed their arrival to the date on the map precisely, a very special evening indeed, just in time for the lowest tide of the year and the only time the entrance to the cave is clear. And in the dusk, and with an optimistic song, yodeling and warbling merry as fools, drinking wine, and enjoying plates of cheese, the moonbow rose and the cave exposed. "There it is, I see it," Felix calls. "Come, my friend, only an hour or so before it goes." Felix released the rowboat and it fell with a crash and a splash. "Bit rough, old boy. Take it handy," Sebastian warns with a drunken chuckle and a puff of his pipe. "Onwards," Felix shouts, and over the side they go. They weren't the best of swimmers, paddling and flapping clumsy like two finless herrings, scrambling like wet cats and into the boat. After doing a few slow circuits, they found a somewhat straight course and proceeded to the cave. The entrance was wide enough for their little rowboat. They glided to the mouth of the cave, and the two of them gave a concerned glance at the other, that this might be a mistake. But before they had time to voice their concerns, the tide pushed them in, and they were swallowed up, digested whole, if you like, by the rock formation and vanished from the moonlight. The tunnel inside was black as tar, and the boat bashed and meandered around the bends, rubbing the salt water from their eyes. The channel was somehow brightening and glowing now, ebullient. Crabs, green grass and butterflies filled its whimsical inside. "Do you see what I see?" "I do indeed, sir," as he let out a joyful yodel-hee-hoo. Now with all the tales of treasure and adventure would have you believe, is that when getting close to the bounty there could be a perilous array of deadly tasks and traps to test your intention. And this quest was no different. The first of two tests is the yawning frog. Seems harmless enough, you would think, but this particular yawning frog has the resonance release of the sleeping death. Listen more than a minute and you will sleep until your body rots to a husk. The trick is to yawn back in perfect slumber, and if you can harmonize with the frog, you can deflect its sleepy attack. They begin their yawning. Felix goes deep and releases the perfect yawn and aligns with the tone of the frogs. Like a canine to a balloon, it bursts and flaps away. Yodel-hee-hoo, Felix says. "Good job," Sebastian congratulates. "Steady now, me old chum, we're not there yet," Felix implies. Past the butterflies and rich grass, they travel through a veil of silk worms that comes apart in sticky wriggling and cover the fellows in an awful bother of itching and scratching. The channel bends to a cove where the boat comes to ground, scraping over fool's gold. step off, and to their sweet surprise, strawberry patches as far as the eye can see. Sweet, delicious, plump berries with mushrooms the size of trees, leaning and dripping with delight. Bright yellow hummingbirds twiddling and tending to the roots of the fruit, and then like a shot, a sprite little caterpillar head pokes out from the milky caps. "Oh, what's all this then?" the caterpillar inquires. The two gasp. The caterpillar continues to say, "Take a look and pick the fruit that speaks softly in the dark. But do be warned, to pick a fool will surely break your heart." "What does it mean?" Sebastian wonders. "I'm not sure," Felix worries. "Let's listen." So the likely two lean close to the undergrowth, prick their ears up closer and closer, and what a thing! They hear a blaze of whispering voices coming from the delightful berries.
"Pick me, I am the best, pick me! Pick me, I am the sweetest, pick me, pick me! Pick me!"
"Better take one," Sebastian suggests. Epsilon plucks an eager contender and pulls it close to his lips. Now the whisperers turn to a shout. "Yes, yes, eat me, I am the one, eat me, yes!" "Stop, old boy," Sebastian says. "It's a trick, he doesn't speak softly at all." The strawberry changes his tone now and gets angry and turns black with maggots and just groans. "Pick me, oh, drop it, Felix. Frightful thing." Let's look again. Then they notice a particularly quiet little guy amongst the patch with a bit of a glint in his eye. "Hello, little fella, can I pluck you?" Felix asks, and the cheeky chap gives a lovely warm grin and nods politely. He plucks the intended morsel and swallows it back. "Well," Sebastian wonders. "Quite delicious," Felix says. The caterpillar slinks across to their side, takes a breath and speaks. "You've chose well, boys. Now you can perform for your wish. Follow the tiny tunnel to the tiny door." He points the way. "You will find him there." They wriggle and squeeze ever so tightly and up to the door, turn the pearl handle and peer inside. And there it is! The great underground sea, alive with colour, sparkling like crystal. "We found it," the boys cheer. The two stride up to the water's edge and see the lobster himself, River Snap, perched on a rock 20 feet out. "There he is," they smile. "Will we swim across?" Sebastian asks. I'm not sure," Felix thinks. "Throw a rock in, old chum." Sebastian grabs a fist-sized quartz and tosses it in. Nothing at first, then a thundering surge and a crashing and roars like they had never heard before, rushing up to with bloodthirsty intent, two mosasauruses ready to devour any fool that might chance this treacherous crossing. "My goodness," Felix trembles. "What are we to do?" Then a well-spoken voice calls out from beyond the chaos. "I wouldn't go there if I were you. They're an awful beast and very hungry." "River Snap," Felix calls. "Yes, it is I. Have you come to try to best me?" "We have indeed, O mythical minstrel. I am Felix, and this is my friend Sebastian. We have travelled far to see you." "Well, now you are here," the lobster sighs. "Can you do better than this?" He takes a wide stance, prepares himself, lifts his claws, and begins. He finishes his mighty performance and bows. "Now it is your turn," he calls. "I am ready," Felix replies respectfully, clears his throat, and begins the greatest yodel ever summoned. Yodel-e, 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 finishes and drops to his knees with exhaustion, and waits for the verdict. Well done, you have indeed bested me, young warrior. What will your wish be? The lobster asks. Please, Felix hopes, may I have the greatest instrument ever created? It is yours, Riversnap replies as he reaches out with one of his bulbous claws and into the calm, clean, crisp water, and does a snip-snap, and the two mosasauruses dive under and after a moment return with an enormous machine resting on their brows. They push it to the shore and dive back under. What is this? Felix asks. It is a trout-onium, dear sir, Riversnap replies, the greatest instrument ever created. Goodbye, and he scurries away. We'll never get this out of here, Sebastian grumbles. Well, I guess we'll just have to stay and play, old friend. And they do.